from time to time I have to transport my video and lighting gear, and it is kind of problematic because I don't have a grip van. I drive two cars. One is this one, Renault Megane station wagon, and also from time to time I drive Skoda Kodiaq, which in Poland is called Skoda Kodiaq. But even though both are quite spacious, it's problematic to load light stand like that. I can fold the chairs and then I'm able to put such a big light stand inside. But it is both dangerous to have this thing inside the cabin, and also it is quite annoying to load it and unload it, because usually the light stand would go on the bottom and then you have to put other stuff on it. And even though if I don't take this big light stand, my car is packed to the brim. Sometimes it's even really hard to put it inside because all the lights, all the video gear takes so much space inside that I'm not even able to put it inside. And also these big modifiers are kind of problematic because they are very long, so they usually go onto the back seat, which is also not very convenient. They do not fit inside the trunk, or even if they take too much space and they are oddly shaped, then it's hard to pack the lights then. So the grip van is like 12,000 bucks, the used one, reasonable one. So for me at the moment it's too expensive, so I got a different idea and I got this thing. This is the roof box, and this one is Hapro Explorer 500. I got it 2 days ago. I haven't tested it with my gear, so we are going to test it together. And maybe it's a really stupid idea, I don't know. The most important thing is that these have to be mounted firmly on the roof, and all the things inside also have to be mounted really firmly, so they have to be attached tightly into the box because they cannot move inside the box. The problem is if you break, then this might fly away from the box because this is heavy. This is like 20 kilos. I'm going to check the weight anyway because there are some limitations. That would be probably a very long video, and you can use the chapters to skip around if you're not interested in some of the topics. Because I also want to explain how to choose the roof box correctly and how to mount it safely, I hope. And I don't know, maybe it would be a really stupid idea to put these things inside. Maybe I won't be able to attach them firmly, maybe they will still move, then it would be a stupid idea. But I think it would be possible. I asked the guy who's selling this and he told me it shouldn't be a problem to put those inside, but they have to be somehow wrapped to not destroy the roof box. So I also have a moving blanket. So first I will test this on the floor. So I will pack the things I want inside and attach them firmly. And if this is possible on the floor, then I would unpack it, mount it on the roof and try to mount the items inside on the roof. For me, if I'm able to put two stands inside, this one, and in the future I plan to get the wind-up stand, which is a bit taller than this one. This is 160 centimeters when fully folded, and the wind-up stand is 180, maybe 185, depends which model I choose. And this box internally is, in theory, 210, so like 7 feet. But it is just only like 5 centimeters wide area, which is that long, and the rest is shorter because it is either slope, slanted or rounded, so then it is really shorted. Ideally, I would like to also be able to put the Manfrotto boom, which I plan to buy, but the Manfrotto boom is 220 centimeters. So maybe I would be able to mount it diagonally, but I don't think so. I would probably, for the boom, I would need longer box, but I think this one is the longest I could mount on my station wagon. So we'll see. I don't have the boom at the moment. I think I would get it probably in August. So we'll see. The first topic is how to choose the roof rack and roof box, because to mount this roof box you need additional roof rack, and the choice of the roof rack is dependent of what type of roof you have. And I guess the first thing is to check if you can even mount this, because some cars do not allow to mount anything on the roof. And if you can, you got the information in the car manual what is the maximum dynamic load of your roof. And also you can see, either looking at your car or checking the manual, what mounting system you have. So that could be, so the roof rack could be mounted directly to the roof. There are special mounting points on the roof and you mount the rack directly. It could be also mounted to the roof rails like I have, but I have the open roof rails. And there are also integrated roof rails. So, and each of these types of the mounting systems needs different roof rack. So the base one, the attaching, so the attachments are different. I have the open roof rail on my both cars, so it's very convenient for me, because I could only buy one roof rack and then I can mount this box and the same roof rack on both of my cars. And conveniently, both of my cars are more or less the same width. So the width of the roof rack I bought fits both of my cars, which is great. But you have to first check the mounting type and the width of the roof rack, and then you can also choose the roof box. But I think the first thing is to check, but then you have to check the dynamic load of your roof. And the dynamic load, I guess, is the most important thing. And for both of my cars, the dynamic load is 80 kilograms. And what that means is how much you can load on your roof and still drive your car. Because when you drive your car and you accelerate and brake, there are really tremendous forces pushing and pulling the roof rack and the roof box. So if you load too much, the thing would just break away and create a really bad accident. So that's the most important safety measure, to not overload your roof. And also the dynamic load is the total dynamic load. So it is not the weight of the gear you load into the roof box, but this is the total weight of the stuff you put on the roof. So this is the roof rack, the roof box, and then the stuff you put into the roof box. So actually my both cars have 80 kilograms dynamic load, but then I mounted the roof rack, which is probably less than 10 kilos. I would check it later. And then the roof box I bought is 20 kilos. So I have to subtract already 30 kilos from my dynamic load. So I'm left with 50 kilos. So I can load 50 kilos into the roof box and it still be safe. More, it is not recommended, because then the roof box can break and the roof rack can break and your railings and your roof rail can break and your whole roof can actually crumble. So it's not recommended. The static roof float is much bigger. It's usually 3 to 4 times bigger. That's why you can mount the roof tent on your car, and usually these roof tents are around 50 kilos, so you can drive with them. And then when you pop up the tent, actually 2 or more people can get inside, because the static load of the roof is much higher. But dynamic load is usually between 50 and 100 kilos. It is probably bigger for the bigger cars like vans, but I haven't checked it. I don't own a van. Both of my cars have 80, so I'm fine. And the load and the maximum load of my roof rack is 7 kilos per bar. So actually it is 150 kilo total. And this roof box allows 75 kilos of the load maximum. But my limitation for my both cars is dynamic load of my roof. So I'm not able to put the maximum capacity into it, like 75 kilos, because that would breach the dynamic load of my roof. So that's my limitation. But if you got higher dynamic load of your roof, then you probably load this with 75 kilos and you should be safe. If you have 100 kilos, you have to have like 110 to be able to load it with the full maximum load, which is 75 kilos. I've seen there are roof boxes with 100 kilos, so there are probably roofs with much higher dynamic load capacity. But both of my cars are 80, that's why I'm kind of limited in the choices of the roof racks and roof boxes. And also another thing is the length of your roof. So this box is 215 centimeters in the longest point, and actually it is a bit longer than my station wagon roof. But since the box is sloped, first of all it is rounded in the front and then it is sloped on the back, it actually fits my roof perfectly. But I was considering other roof boxes. I really wanted to buy something with good quality but budget. So my first choice was this one, Thule Touring L, and it was 190 by 73 by 39 centimeters, and the maximum load of this one is 50 kilos, and the price is around 680 bucks. So I would be able to put this there. The wind-up stand, it would be really tight fit, because all of these roof boxes are either rounded on the front or sloped or slanted on the back and sides. So actually I might not be able to put the wind-up stand there. So that's why I started to looking around, and then I was checking the Thule Force 3 series, and in this series I was checking Thule size L, XL and XXL, and the XXL is the longest, but is narrower than this one or the other ones. And also the XXL, which probably would fit the boom arm, is 20 centimeters longer than my roof, which is not safe, because if the roof box, imagine this is a roof box, this paper, and your windshield is like that, then this acts like a sail, so the wind goes below the roof box and try to push it up, and it's quite dangerous. So you can like hang like 10 centimeters over your windshield and it shouldn't be a problem, but something longer than that might be problematic and not very safe. So this XXL was out of the question for my station wagon. So I actually settled on this Force 3 XL was around 207 centimeters inside by 75 by 37. So I could probably load all my stuff there, even the wind-up if I got it. And the maximum load was 75 kilos. And so it was kind of similar than this one I chosen finally, but I was able to compare this one and Thule Force 3 XL in the shop. And the Thule was more slanted on the sides and on the back, and was not as tall as this one, and also the shape was more aerodynamic, so it was sloped on the front and on the back. So I thought this one would be better in terms of packing in the stuff, but since this is probably less aerodynamic, the fuel consumption would be higher, but it's not a big concern. And also Thule Force 3 XL have a crossbar inside, so actually this makes it actually shorter, because the crossbar is like 10 centimeters from the front. So sure, you can still load something on the crossbar, but this would limit the length of the stuff you can mount there. If the stands are tall, then you won't be able to close the lid. So that's why I've chosen this one. And that crossbar in the Thule made it a bit more rigid and stiff. So that was a pro, but also a con in terms of loading long stuff. So that's why I've chosen this one mostly. And also another important factor was the price, because they do not differ that much. This one seems to be more packable, because the Thule Force 3XL is $900 here in Poland, and this one was $650, so almost 30% cheaper. This might be a really stupid idea, I don't know. I haven't tried to load anything yet, so we have to do it together. And also you need a base roof rack to be able to mount this, and using the Thule site you can actually choose your car, choose the year that your car was made, and then you would get the suggestion which one you can use. And I actually opted for the Thule roof rack because they are, first of all, this is one of the best brands for any mounting, for any car accessories you mount on the car, so bike racks, roof boxes, and all that stuff. And also they seem to be the most aerodynamic, and they look okay. So there are cheaper options, but they are not aerodynamic, and also some of them look really ugly, and some of them look really cheap, like they can crumble if you touch them. So this tool was a good choice, although it's quite expensive. I paid $370 for the roof rack. So altogether the roof rack and some other accessories was around $1,100. Quite expensive, but still it is like 1/10 or maybe 1/12 of the price of the reasonable used grip one. So the choice is obvious that at the moment, for me, this is a better solution than getting a grip one, although the grip one would be much more convenient, but would be much more expensive and would be also much more expensive to drive. So definitely the Force 3 from Thule is a better choice in terms of the features, because first of all it has a dynamometric attachments. So when you screw them in, you always screw them in with the same force, because there is a dynamometric meter. So when you turn them in, you always screw them with the same force. So that's a plus. Here is like normal screw in. I will show it later when I'm mounted on the roof. The Force is better in terms of the features, but for me the shape of this one is better in terms of loading stuff. But if you want the features of the tool, it's like $300 premium. And also with the tool, what is great, if you have your roof rack from Thule, you can have the one key system, so you can exchange all the key barrels in all the locks, and you have one key to open the roof rack and roof box, which is convenient, but it's not end of the world. I have two keys, so one key for the roof rack and one key for this one. And actually I think I would have roof rack all the time on my car, and I will actually unlock it only when I want to switch the cars. So I want to mount the roof rack on the other car. And other than that, it will be probably all the time on my car, though not a big deal. But if you want it really convenient, you have to buy both parts from Thule, and then you can have one key. So that's the pro of having everything from Thule. But other than that, I drive already like 20 kilometers with this one, but it was empty, so it's quiet. I haven't seen much more fuel consumption, but it depends. It was not loaded, so we will see if there is more fuel consumption if this is loaded. So now I will try to safely mount at least those two, and if I'm able also to put those light modifiers, then I will be like trigger happy. But it will be still a success if I'm able to mount two of these stands there. I know that I can also put my assistants there, even though that some of my assistants does not have a turtle base. This is wide enough so I can put assistants there. So in theory I should be also able to put like two big stands and two of my systems, but it depends how all this weighs. If this is above the dynamic load of my roof, then it would be quite dangerous to do it. So altogether my setup was around $1,100. If you want the same size toolbox, it would be like $1,400. So I think that's the reason. Of course, you can get shorter ones or smaller ones, and they are a bit cheaper, both from Thule, Hapro. There are also other brands like Taurus, but I think Taurus might be only local in Poland, I don't know. I would actually get a scale to see how much everything weighs and how much I'm able to load, because maybe I'm not able to load all this stuff inside. This one is 16.2 kilos, so like, I don't know, 35 pounds. Okay, I will check this one in the specs because it's hard to weigh with the wheels. Sure, the scale does not even register this one, so to weight it I have to weigh it myself. And then with this it's like 2.5 kilos, so not that heavy, the lantern, and this is heavier, and this one is 5 kilos, so they both are like 8 kilos, the modifiers, so I should be able to mount all of this. But I also have these two moving blankets. They are moving / transport blankets from Amazon. I bought them mostly to use them as a sound blankets, but they are also really great to transport stuff. So now I have to try to mount these items inside to see if this is even possible. The best scenario would be if I have some cover for this, but I don't know if they even exist, because then I could pack the stand into the back like that, and it would be really easy to attach it inside, but I have to cover this with this moving blanket and try to attach it. So let's see if this is even possible. So the roof rack, this roof rack opens from the both sides. There is a lock which is located here, and it's not that easy to open. Because it seems that it is triple lock, so it is in 3 points, and you have to really unlock it, which is not that easy. The locking system in Thule is more convenient, I would say. So now it's locked, now it's in Thule. Okay, it's unlocked. So this is how this looks inside. The opening is not that wide, and also it won't be that easy to mount stuff on the floor. These are the locks, and they are quite protruding at the moment, because when they are on the roof rack, then they are lower, but I guess I would try to mount I would try to put the stand inside with them attached, so probably the stand would go somewhere here, and you have the attachment points here, so you can thread these straps and try to attach the stuff. So I don't know if that would work, but let's see. And then I would try to mount this, and you can see how the inside looks. So it would be quite tricky to mount something, because there is like 35 centimeters of the opening. So let's see. These locks are, I don't know if they are very trusty, but let's see. So it's slided. I cannot actually remove the key when it is open, so it is actually good thing, and I cannot close it when the lid is open. So actually there is some kind of the protection like in the tool, so not bad. So I will try to put this inside somehow, and then I will attach the stand with 2 of these straps and see if this is possible to close and attach securely, which might be really tricky. There are a lot of these protruding elements, so I guess I would put it inside with the elements, with the protruding elements towards the roof, and we'll see if I'm able to attach it or not. It might be really tricky. The most important thing is to not allow the stand to hit the roof box walls, because then it might be really dangerous. So it is there like that. There is like 20 centimeters in the front and almost 20 in the back. So actually you can put like 2 meters here and you should be fine. But now I will try to somehow attach it so it won't move. That is the most tricky part, I think. But the plus is that you have all these elements you can attach the straps to. So maybe if I tighten the straps, it would be possible to close it. But from the other hand, I have to also wrap it before attaching, or maybe I would somehow attach this and then wrap it with the second moving blanket. I don't know. I have to figure that out. Okay, so I was able to attach this with the strap. I'm not sure this strap seems to be tight. So this attached to one of the legs and to one ear of this attachment strap, and on the other side I've attached it to the head, to the head of the stand, and also to this. So it seems quite sturdy, but I would also emulate the braking. So now I will cover this with the blanket. The mounting that way limited a bit the ability to, and maybe I would also use the third one to close that blanket. Okay, so I also put a third one here to prevent this from opening. Not sure this would prevent it, but maybe I have to put some rubber bands or Velcro on the ends. Probably I would put Velcros here, and then it would be wrapped so there won't be any sharp edges. Although there are not many sharp edges, but still the stand is metal and the box is ABS plastic, probably glass fiber reinforced, but it could be brittle if the stand would hit it. So let me grab some Velcros too. Okay, so I wrapped it with Velcro, and now the cover is closed, so it should be okay. Not sure, like I probably shouldn't use this, but the Velcro is enough. But I don't have that much Velcro, so I have to buy more Velcro. So now I have to close this. Now I have to close this side and try to pack the other one, and then I will pack the modifiers. So now I have to close this, which is not that obvious. You have to push the box and turn the lock, and it is closed. So now I have to open this from the other side. And this is like really weird that this always one side that doesn't want to open fully. really don't understand it. Okay, and now I have this opened from the other side. It would be kind of tricky to repeat this on the roof, but it is what it is. I guess with practice I could load it within 10 minutes and unload. Might be annoying, might be actually stupid idea. I don't know if this takes too much time. It might be easier to book a big bolt car, but if I have to go like more than 50 kilometers, then this is a better idea financially. Maybe it's better to rent a grip van, but then you still have to somehow attach the stands in the van, so not sure it's a good idea. And also this could be used in the garage to store some stuff like these modifiers. I would definitely store the modifiers in it in my garage so they don't get dusty, although this would be dusty. It's already dusty and it's not very scratch friendly because it is already scratched. It was for 2 days in my garage and somebody was like pushing it on the floor and it's already scratched, so not that tough. So this one has a wheelbase, and I will also try to attach it the other way, that way. And also in theory you should attach the stuff. I'm not sure I would be able to close this one actually, although maybe if I rearrange the wheels I would. And it would be also quite hard to mount. So that's a small bummer, although this one is just for testing. I can put this one inside the car because it's short when collapsed. It's like, check it, like 1 meter and 20 centimeters tops. So let me see if I can close it. I think I can, but okay. I'm actually able to close it and it's not touching the lid, so I can still try and attach it. But it's weird, really weird to open. From the other hand, it's hard to open, then it won't open accidentally. So this would be probably attached to the first and the second. So the back and the middle one, yes or not. Oh, so that might be actually problematic because there are only 2 attachment points. I think there were 3 in the Force. So, but again, this is a temporary thing. I will load different stand here, but still I think I can attach it safely. It just have to be tight. I'll have to wrap it and use Velcros to prevent this from unwrapping. And so I have both stands attached. This one, it seems it closes. Seems I can still close it, so I have a room here to put a bag or something. I probably wouldn't transport any fragile gear here, so no cameras, no lights, but the stands is like, it is like perfect to transport the stands. So there are 2, and I will try to also put the modifiers and see if I can close it. Okay, so both modifiers are in. Not sure how much you can see there is, everything is black, but I should be able to close it. The modifiers are not attached, but since first of all they are light, and second of all, when I close it, they won't be able to move. What I have to do now is to try to emulate hard braking. So that's why I have another moving blanket below, so that way I can do this. Like, imagine you are driving the car and you are braking, so it will be moving and then stopped abruptly. It's not probably that easy to emulate because I don't have that much power to, because it's moving forward and then you like try to stop. It should be moving fast, but nothing is moving inside, which is the good sign. So now I have to unpack it, mount it on the roof, which might be problematic because my son just left. So might be problematic to mount it alone on the roof, but maybe I can try to mount it from the back. Might be possible. Let's see. And if it's possible, then I would attach it to the roof, and then also I would try to pack the things inside the same way or better way I packed it here, and I would try to drive the car and see, and I would try to drive the car onto the non-public roads. I have some around my house, and see if I brake hard, if something would fall out. If not, if that won't move, then it would be a success and I can use it. I guess it took like half an hour to pack it, so quite long, but it was the first time. So we'll see how long it would take on the roof, and I have to stop recording here, go outside, unpack this, go outside and try to mount it and pack it on the roof. So let's see, it's possible. I have to use a step stool to be able to put the stands inside, so it is also kinda iffy. I ordered a dedicated step stool for this, so it should be here tomorrow, unfortunately. So today I will use another step stool I have, which is quite narrow, but I hope I wouldn't break any of the windows in my car. Other than that, it should be okay. So I will stop recording, unpack this. Maybe I would first check if something moved inside, but I doubt it. I haven't heard anything moving, so I don't know why this don't want to open every time. I don't know if the key opens 3 of them or somehow. Yes, the key opens 3 of them, so you have to be, and the whole mechanism moves, so maybe this one is not that great, but see how that will stand try of time. And nothing moved, even the modifiers haven't moved, so that's the test was successful, although I was not able to generate that much force as I expect. Maybe if I put it on the wheels, then I would be able to do it, because it was really hard to push it and stop abruptly. So I would have to try this on the car. So let me stop recording. So now I'm outside. It's quite windy, so sorry for the wind noise. And this is the base roof rack. This is Thule Evo Winbar, and I opted for the black because I got the roof box cheaper, and you can get this cheaper if this is silver, because basically it's not painted, so it is like I don't know, 25, no, maybe $50 cheaper than this one. So this was $370, so you can get the silver ones for 320, maybe 300 if you're lucky. So this is the base one. There are two bars, and I would try to mount the roof box onto the bars, and you can also mount the bike mounts onto this roof rack. So, and yeah, basically it's attached with the dynamometric Allen key, and it's attached in 4 places to the open rail. This is the open railing system. So this is the open rail. The open one is that you have an empty space below. You can have integrated one, and integrated does not have a space below, and then you need different attachment points. So this actually, what is really windy, this actually attaches properly to both of my cars, so I'm kind of lucky. Anyway, I will try to mount the roof rack myself. Not sure it would be possible. My son left already, and I deattached the radio antenna. I don't listen to radio in my car, so it doesn't matter for me, but maybe I would reattach it, because actually with the antenna, the antenna shows me the end of the roof box, so it might be useful, although maybe alone I have to load it from the back. We'll see. Not sure I would be able to mount it from the side, so I will bring it now and try to load it. So I'm not sure I will be able to put it myself. It weighs 20 kilos, so it's not that heavy, but it's quite awkward to grab. So I guess the easiest way would be to put it from the side, or maybe like put it from the diagonal. No, and these things are, maybe it's not the best idea to have them mounted already, but let's see. Maybe if I can put it above my head, then I can mount it easily. Let's see. Yeah, easy. Okay, so it was actually easier than I thought. Really. So now I have to open my trunk. So the trunk does not hit the box. I have to check it. It doesn't. Actually, probably it's now the perfect placement. So I can close it and center it more or less. So it is. I'm using the antenna mount as a reference point, and then I have go to the front, which is maybe kind of tricky, and it is definitely not centered on the front. Okay, seems centered, but it might actually move when I screw it in. So I get a step stool, and I have to avoid moving it while opening it, which might be tricky. As you see before, yeah, it moved a bit. So I have to recenter it. I think it is quite important to align it and center it so it is not skewed on the roof, and then there is less friction. So these are the attachment points, and you screw them in tightly, and then you press this, because this is anti-shock or anti-vibration, because if the screw vibrates, it can unscrew, and actually with this pushed in, this screw is locked. So in theory this won't unscrew by itself, so I'm pushing these two in, and I have to close this on this side and screw it in there, then put the moving blankets in and put the stands in. So I think I would put the heavier stands on this side and the lighter on the other side. And so let me do it. So actually you have 4 of these attachment points, and the problem might be that it moved when I screw this in. I have to check. No, it doesn't, probably. So I will check from the front too. It seems to be centered. So it's kinda annoying to attach, but all of them are exactly the same. So they attach the same way. So the difference between this one and the Thule is that these mounting points, attachments, are dynamometric in Thule. So you just turn it, and when it clicks 3 times, you are sure it's tightened. And this one you have to do it by just feeling with your hand. So this might be a bit annoying, although I drove with this already and it was not the end of the world. So okay, let me attach the small stand here. So I have to bring the blankets, and I would maybe try to time it. I already, I guess, spent like 10 minutes, maybe 5, to attach the roof box, and let's see how long it takes to actually pack the stuff in. And I already have my straps attached, and I attach them through both ears of these attachment points. That means it would be more secure in my opinion. So let's see, I will pack this up and try to drive with it. Okay, this one is attached, the smaller one, and actually it's attached here. Maybe I would still have to use a Velcro, and probably here, and it is attached here. So this would close. I checked it already, and it's attached with 2 of the straps. And now I will open it on the other side and try to attach the bigger one, and then put the modifiers in and try to close it and try to drive it. Now the heavier one, 16 kilos, on the sketchy step stool. The whole car moves, but that means this attached correctly. Anyway, now I have to attach the straps. So both stands are in. Took 16-17 minutes, so not that great. So the second one is in, it is wrapped, although not that great. It moves to the side a bit, but it would be pushed by the lid, but it does not move back and forth, which is to the front and the back, which is the most important thing. This might jump if I drive, so it's not like the best, but since these attachments are in the way of the attachment points, it's not possible to attach it over them. So it is what it is, and I have to put 2 of the modifiers. They will just push them down, so it shouldn't be a problem. And if this is a problem, then I can put another of these blankets on top of it, and I probably do it so the lid will push it and this won't move. And it took 20 minutes, so quite long, but it was the first time, and now I have to try and drive it to see if this is safe. So I have kind of non-public roads here, so I will try it. There is 0 traffic there, so I will try it and see if it's possible to transport it that way. So fingers crossed. Okay, so when it's on the roof, it looks like that. I will do the last check if it is symmetrical. It is more or less symmetrical, and looks like that. So I think it's not that bad. And also quite important thing that it is almost even with the end of the windshield. It is like maybe 5 centimeters above the windshield, but it's not that big of the problem. It would be problem if it is like that long, and this Thule XXL would be that long, like it was like 20 centimeters longer, so would be here above the windshield, and this might be problematic. This might be unsafe because there would be tremendous force pushing it up. So yeah, this one seems to be the longest one. Maybe actually they were like 20-25, so 10 centimeters longer ones, but there were much more streamlined, so there was smaller, like 30 centimeters tall. So this one seems to be the perfect one, but maybe actually it's too tall. It depends how tall the wind up stand is, so I will check this in August probably when I have the wind up stand. So yeah, let me drive it and see how that drives. Okay, so I'm going to drive the car with the loaded roof box and see if I'm able to do it. So let's try it. I don't have the camera on the roof. I should have one probably. Maybe next time I would try to attach the camera to the roof to see what happens with that, but generally I want to like brake quite hard to see if something wrong happens, and I can listen to the I don't hear anything rattling there up there. So it's a good sign, although I'm not able to go fast here because it's a dirt road. But the good thing about it is that this dirt road is really bumpy. So it is bumpy, I can go 30 and still no noises, even though that camera almost flew off. So this is a good sign. But I have to remember that I have a tall roof box on my roof, so my car is like 50 centimeters taller than usual, so I have to be aware of all the branches around me. There are people, so I have to be cautious to not kill them with the flying roof box. But other than that, it seems okay so far. I'm not sure I can brake here, but I think I know. The tarmac road, so far no strange noises. There are the usual noises of my car, which is quite an old car but well maintained. Maybe there is some cracking there, so cracking of the roof rack, but I doubt it. So I'm going 20 here because it's so bumpy. And I have to brake a few times rapidly to see if anything moves up there. If not, this car is not able to accelerate that fast, so that causes something to move. Then this is not a problem with this car. The problem is if you rapidly brake. Then the items in the roof box might move, and this will be problematic. And there are quite low branches in front of me, so I have to be aware that I have something on my roof. I'm going 30 on this quite bumpy road, and maybe I've heard something unusual, like something was jumping in the trunk, so maybe in this roof box, so maybe I should put another of these moving boxes on top of it, so the lid will push it. But other than that, I would have to go 50 here and brake. The problem might be if I drive the highway. Okay, so I can go 50 here. There was some unusual sound from the tire. Maybe I will do it again. But it was from the tire, not from the roof. And I haven't heard anything moving there, so that's a really good sign. Okay, again 50, I will try to brake. It brakes differently than usual. I can feel that the roof is pushing it, so the center of the mass is definitely higher. I have like 30 plus 30 plus 16, so it's 46, plus the moving blankets that are like 3 kilos, so it's 50 plus another stand. This one is like 10 kilo tops, maybe 8, so I have like 58 kilos on the roof, maybe 60. So you can definitely feel it, and it's on top of the roof, so yeah, we'll try to nothing is moving, nothing. And it was emergency braking because my emergency light start blinking, so definitely it is attached correctly. Of course, if I hit someone going 120, that might be a different story. That actually that forces might be that high that this would fly away with the whole roof. But I don't plan to hit someone, so I was going 70 now, and I've done emergency braking and nothing moved up there. So that's really good sign. The most important thing is that you have to be aware that you have something on your roof, and you cannot go into the underground garage. You cannot go under really small bridges or street signs or stuff like that, or cables, because you may attach it. With this car it's not a big concern, but with the other one, with Skoda, it might be a concern because it would be taller than 2 meters probably with the roof, like 210 to 20 maybe, so 7 feet. So it's not that, so then it might be dangerous if you try to go somewhere. With this car and this roof rack, I would probably be able to go into my garage, so it's like less than 2 meters. Black cat, which means luck, at least for me. This test was positive, but I have to check if something moved there. If not, then this means it is a secure solution, although it's not that a fast solution. Definitely packing stuff into your trunk or into the grip van would be faster than this, but it is what it is. And if I'm going to have a full work day, it's not a big deal. For half day it might be annoying because the packing and unpacking would take an additional 40 minutes maybe. So for sure the roof box and roof rack haven't moved. Both are attached the same way, so this is a plus. So I will check the inside. This thing moved definitely, so not sure, maybe I should attach it to somehow. So that moved definitely, which means the stuff is moving there, but this haven't moved. So the big stand, this 16 kilogram stand, haven't moved at all, which is great news. And the other one seems that haven't moved too. So these two, that these are attached. So if I grab by the stand, I could, as you can see, you can or not, I don't know. I'm grabbing just by the stand and the whole car moves. That means that this is attached really well, but this moved. This is like 4 kilos, so not a big deal, but probably it's better to have it attached somehow. Maybe I can attach it to the stand. Maybe I can attach it to the stand with another of these straps, and this one haven't moved because the leg of the smaller one was blocking it. So yeah, interesting test. I think this experiment was successful. So you may think whatever you like. I mean, I'm not sure it's a solution for everyone. It is a solution for me at the moment because I cannot afford a grip one, but it seems it works. So I can put there probably like 2 more stands, but I have to find a way to attach them. Although if I put C stands, I can attach them with the legs to the stands which are attached to the roof box. So it should be okay. So I guess it's a really good indicator that this is successful test. But as you can see, it takes time to load it. So it definitely has some cons. Takes like probably, if I'm skilled and experienced with loading and unloading, this would take probably 20 minutes with putting the roof box on top of the roof, and it took around half an hour with the first try. So quite time consuming, although I can move really big stands. So I think since this have 80 kilos dynamic load minus, let's assume this is this 20 and the roof rack plus the moving blankets is another 10, so I can put 50 kilos inside. So I guess wind up, I can put the wind up, the big one I've put there, and the small one I've put there. Or wind up, the big one, which is there is a boom actually, and 2 C-stands, and probably these 2 modifiers. So it's really convenient. And yeah, if you think it's useful, then you can have the same setup. And you can think also about the sizes of the roof boxes. There are other options from Thule, and there are also other options from these Hapro smaller ones, because actually I could get away with a smaller one for this stance. But if I get this wind up and if I get the boom arm, maybe there is a small chance I would be able to put boom arm here. We'll see when I get it. Definitely I will be able to put the wind up here, because the longest part is in the center of the roof box. But as you've seen, that you install them close to the mounting points, so you install them on the sides. That's why I need the longer one to be able to put this 185 centimeters, so 6 feet tall wind up here. So that's why I've chosen this one. If you don't have such a big stance, if you use a normal stance, then you can get away with a smaller version of this one or the small version of the Thule one. So you can choose something different. I would try to link them in the description down below, either as affiliate links or just as links. And actually, I asked Thule some time ago if they are willing to send me the demo box. They weren't even kind enough to say fuck you, so yeah, I got this one. I mean, if the Thule would be better than this one, I would get Thule. I don't have any hard feelings, but I got this one, and I think this one is a great fit for my purpose. But if you got different stands, different modifiers, maybe you need the smaller one, or maybe you need the longer one. So you have to think about it. And yeah, and the maximum I can load here is in theory 210 centimeters, but it have to be loaded diagonally from the maximum point in the front and the back. So actually it is like rather 2 meters, maybe 195, because as you see you have to mount the heavy things on the sides. So yeah, but anyway, I think it is very useful, although quite annoying to load. That's it, and cheers, mate.